Last month, on May 11th, a float and a parade at Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom caught fire, igniting social media with photos and videos of the flaming dragon. Guests watched in stunned disbelief as the giant Maleficent dragon, which shoots fire out of its nose, burned along the parade route in the Liberty Square section of the park. Maleficent means causing or capable of producing evil or mischief, especially by supernatural means. It also means harmful or baleful. This is where we get the word malfeasance, which is the act of committing harm or evil. We know that Disney has 666 hidden in his signature, and the Magic Kingdom equals the kingdom of Antichrist, or the New World Order. Therefore, without a doubt, the Maleficent dragon is none other than Satan himself. The name Liberty Square connects back to Kanye West's "slavery is a choice" comment.
You hear about slavery for 400 years? For 400 years? For 400 years? That sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all? You know, like, it's like we're mentally in prison.
It also connects to Meek Mill being set free and his ringing of the Liberty Bell at the Philadelphia 76ers basketball game. On June 16th, in Miami, which is known as the Magic City, 103.5 The Beat hosted a People Matter 24-hour ceasefire event in Liberty City, which was aimed at stopping the violence there. Rick Ross was the headline act that was set to perform. Remember, Meek Mill is signed to Rick Ross's Maybach Music record label. This concert, which was held in Liberty City, then connects back to Meek Mill ringing the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia at the 76ers basketball game.
One time, give it up for Meek Mill and welcome home!
Remember, the 76ers connects back to Acts 7:6 and the descendants of Judah, the children of Israel, sojourning in a strange land, being in bondage for 400 years, which represents so-called Black Americans today. I visited this event where I met Travis, who's a part of the Miami-Dade Street Response Team. This organization had a booth at the event, and they were signing people up for classes on how to treat gunshot wounds in urban environments.
Okay, my name is Travis Campbell. I'm here with the Miami-Dade Street Response Team, and we're here to just provide the community with information in terms of basic life-saving skills such as bleeding control, controlling bleeding of gunshot wounds, basic CPR. Just we realize that our community, we're lacking information.
I ended up recording my thoughts on this event while I was there and what it truly signified.
What's up, everybody? Shalom. I'm out here today at the People Matter Fest, supporting this movement, calling for a 24-hour ceasefire in Liberty City. I love the spirit of this movement. I think it's a wonderful thing, and I fully support it. However, I wanted to take this opportunity to point out the disparity in the media and society as a whole here in America when it comes to addressing gun violence as it pertains to the Black community. A perfect example of this disparity is the attention garnered by the mass shooting at Stoneman Douglas in Parkland, Florida, which is only about 40 minutes away from Liberty City. Parkland received national and international media coverage after the shooting, which took 17 lives. They received the boost from a billionaire supporter and his organization, Every Town for Gun Safety USA, and it sparked the March for Our Lives movement. However, in the 10 years before the Parkland shooting, 1,284 Black children were killed by gun violence in Florida. The largest number of those deaths occurred in Dade County, but there was no outrage, no billionaire supporter bankrolling programs to affect change in the community, and no national or international media coverage for these deaths. Why? What's the difference between these two groups of people? Parkland is 84% white, while Liberty City is 94% black. Parkland has the median income for males over $100,000 a year. Liberty City's household median income is less than $19,000 a year. Simply put, the disparity exists because of the systematic institutional racism that pervades the very foundation on which this country was built. This racist attitude is implicit in the psyche of American society. Did you know that every single day in America the number of black homicide victims exceeds the number of deaths in Parkland mass shootings? So when you tell me people matter, I take it with a grain of salt because it seems, at least in this society, that some people matter more than others. Oh, and by the way, a ceasefire is a military order for combatants to temporarily stop firing upon their enemies. That means, by definition, Liberty City is a war zone. Again, I ask, where's the outrage? Why is the violence that affects our communities not given the same platform? And I'm not talking about just here in Miami. We're talking about Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, St. Louis, Baton Rouge, Los Angeles, and all over the nation. This is a humanitarian crisis, and we are at ground zero. Something to think about.
Fast forward to the present. June 28th, there's another mass shooting event here in America. This time, it is at the Capital Gazette newspaper.
New reporting after that horrific scene unfolded late today. The man opening fire on reporters at a newspaper in Annapolis, Maryland. At least 5 dead. Authorities not long ago revealing multiple others were shot and are in, quote, grave condition tonight. It happened in the Capital Gazette newsroom, and this image we have seen so often at mass shootings, usually children marching out of schools. Tonight, adults, reporters from that newsroom and the rest of that building walking out with their hands in the air.
The shooting is reported to have begun at around 2:30 p.m. This gives us the number 23, which connects this event to the Law of Fives, Principia Discordia, Order out of Chaos, and the number 5. The date, June 28, also connects this shooting to the Law of Fives as well, since 2 plus 8 equals 10, which is 5 twice.
Several shots have been fired, possible shotgun, at least 10 shots heard.
We were told that at least 10 shots were heard, again connecting this to the Law of Fives. Also, unfortunately, it is being reported that 5 innocent people were killed in this incident, again connecting back to the Law of Fives. In this news report, you will notice that there is a glaring error in the tweet that was supposedly sent out by a guy named Anthony Messenger during the actual shooting.
An intern inside the newsroom began sending desperate tweets immediately after the first shots. Active shooter 888 Bestgate, please help us.
Do you notice something wrong with this tweet? If the shooting happened at approximately 2:30, why is the timestamp of the tweet pictured in this video 11:43 a.m.? This tweet was later shown with a corrected timestamp which reads 2:43 in a story that was uploaded to businessinsider.com. How could Anthony Messenger send out a message about an active shooter at 11:43 a.m. almost 3 hours before the actual shooting took place at 2:30 p.m.? We were also told that the police arrived in 60 seconds.
Authorities say police officers there within 60 seconds or so surrounding the shooter, who had been shooting through the glass door of the newsroom.
These glaring inconsistencies are just more evidence that this mass shooting was just another pre-planned, orchestrated event. Notice the mention of the number 33 in this report.
And Robert Hyacinth was a beloved columnist and a mentor who just celebrated his 33rd wedding anniversary.
This connects the shooting to the 33rd degree of Freemasonry. The address of the building where the shooting took place is 888 Bestgate Road. Let's take a look at the number 888 and how its use in this event is significant. For many, the number 888 is said to represent the name of Jesus in Greek, since each Greek letter represents a number. It is important to note that although the Bible gives us the number of the beast as 666 in the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 18, nowhere does it actually give us the number for the name of Jesus as being 888. Moreover, the true name of the Messiah is Yehoshua, his Hebrew name. However, it is very important to note that the number 888 can be connected to Apollo, the sun god, who also represents Horus and Nimrod. In the riddle of the Sibylline oracles, there's a description which contains the number 888 that was clearly understood by pagans to be a prophecy of the return of Apollo. Olin, the founder of Apollo's oracle and his first prophet, established the oracle of Apollo at Delphi. The number 888 was Olin's number, and it signified the spiritual sun. The Sibylline oracle reads in this manner: "Then will come to men the son of the great God, coated flesh, similar to mortals on earth. But I want to tell you the whole of his number, 8 units or 8, so much tens in addition as 80 and 800s, or 8 plus 80 plus 800, which equals 888. Here are what to the friends of incredulity, to men the name will reveal, but you in the spirit thinks well of the immortal and very high Son of God, to the Christ. Therefore, this false prophet of Apollo clearly assigns the number 888 to Apollo, the sun god. Legend has it that the collection of the Sibylline oracles came to Rome in 3 books. This collection of books was housed in the temple of Capitoline Jupiter, where it was destroyed in the burning of the Capitol in 83 BC. This information connects this shooting to the temple of Capitoline Jupiter, the Sibylline oracles, Apollo the sun god, and the number 888. Since this mass shooting occurred at the Capitol newspaper in building number 888, which is only about 50 minutes drive to Washington, D.C. on US 50. 50 being 5 times 10, also connecting this shooting back to the law of fives once again. Remember, 5 victims were killed. Further, the name of the Capitol building and Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. is derived from the Capitoline Hill of ancient Rome, which is the location of the temple of Capitoline Jupiter, which held the Sibylline oracles containing the riddle of the number 888 in the sun god Apollo. Remember I told you earlier that Apollo, Horus, and Nimrod are all the same. Isis is the mother of Horus, and we have seen depictions of Isis breastfeeding her son, the infant Horus, the sun god. We have also seen Semiramis together with Nimrod, which was copied by the Catholics, who mixed pagan worship with Christianity to become Mary, the Queen of Heaven, and baby Jesus. This shooting incident is also connected to Mary, the Queen of Heaven, because it occurred in Maryland, or Mary's land. I must make mentions of the fact that in July 1776, the Maryland Gazette of Annapolis was one of the first newspapers to publish the Declaration of Independence. The Maryland Gazette eventually merged with the Capitol and became the Capital Gazette of Annapolis in 1919. Since the Capital Gazette has history dating all the way back to 1776 and the Declaration of Independence, this would also seem to connect this shooting back to the defeat of the Patriots in the Super Bowl, the Patriots being connected to the American Revolution, 1776, and the Declaration of Independence as well. It also connects to Meek Mill's release from prison and the ringing of the Liberty Bell during the 76ers game, since the Philadelphia 76ers is also a reference to the Declaration of Independence and the American Revolution of 1776, as well as the Oracle at Delphi, since Philadelphia is a direct reference to the prophet of the Temple of Apollo at Delphi. The laurel is sacred to Apollo, the sun god, and the alleged shooter is from Laurel. Go figure. And finally, this connects to the fact that this shooting occurred only 1 week, 7 days prior to the 4th of July, which is America's celebration of July 4th, 1776, Independence Day. One last thing I must mention before I go. A woman who was a survivor of the shooting had this to say about the thoughts and prayers being offered by the public to the people at the Capital Gazette newspaper.
This is going to be a story for how many days? Less than a week. People will forget about us after a week. Unless, we keep tweeting. I don't really care about tweeting right now. I honestly didn't even expect to be talking with Anderson Cooper today. I thought people would get like a Apple News notification and they would just blow it off, like what happens to everybody. I reported on Pulse when Pulse happened. I went to school in Florida, and I remember being so upset hearing about the victims who were texting their families, and there I was sitting under a desk texting my parents, telling them that I loved them, and I just don't know what I want right now, right? But I'm gonna need more than a couple days of news coverage and some thoughts and prayers, because our whole lives have been shattered. And so thanks for your prayers, but I couldn't give a fuck about them if there's nothing else.
I take offense to the words of this woman, and here's why. She is so outraged at the fact that this mass shooting event, which took 5 lives, affected her personally because it occurred at the office where she works. Because of this, she wants some action to be taken on her behalf. My rebuttal to this display of entitlement and privilege is this. In Washington, D.C. alone this year, 19-year-old Paris Brown was shot and killed on January 10th. 2 days later, 17-year-old Devon Fisher died after he was shot. Another 2 days later, 14-year-old Stephen Slaughter died after he was shot on January 14th. On January 25th, 16-year-old Tianya Thompson was shot in the head. She died later. Also, Rhythm Fields, a 1-year-old girl, was found dead in her home from blunt force trauma. These are just some examples of violence, only 50 minutes away from her newspaper. Question: did she have the same energy when she found out about these deaths? Did she even report on them? The fact is, violent deaths, especially gun violence, occurs in black communities all of the time, and nothing is done about it, and not much of a big deal is even ever made about it. The mass shooting incidents that occur in our neighborhoods on a daily basis historically have not been given the same platform or importance that the mass shooting incidents which have occurred across this nation recently have been given.
Chicago's reeling this morning from a new round of street violence. Police say in just 4 hours last night, shootings killed one person and left 18 others hurt. A 3-year-old boy is critically wounded.
That being said, we don't see these surviving victims or their family members on Anderson Cooper spewing profanities at people who are sending them thoughts and prayers because they want something done about their family members either. Where's the compassion for the black communities across the country that experience a higher rate of gun violence than any of these mass shootings? What makes you better than us?